Yo, what is going on, guys? So on today's episode, we have a video here of 18 minutes of modern women realizing that they messed up bad. You know, a lot of women have bought into the modern womanist lie that they don't need no man, they can do everything themselves, they can go out here and get their career and raise a child by themselves and all of this. But little do they realize that this has all been a giant scam, and they are not too happy about it. Let's jump right into the video. As always, guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Look who's finally arrived at the women realizing feminism is a scam party. Congrats on waking up, but newsflash, your revelation is about as valuable as last season's trends. As you push 30, your market value has tanked, and nobody's shedding tears for your belated epiphany. The ship has sailed, and we hope you enjoy the lonely swim in the sea of irrelevance you've plunged into. Let's take a look at 15 women who can now do nothing but regret their terrible life choices and cry about them, although some are making some great points too. Younger women should watch and learn.
Feminism is a scam. A few years ago, I was an angry, blue-haired feminist. I once believed that male privilege was real and that I was a victim of the wage gap. Now that I understand the true motives of feminism, I know that this could not be further from the truth, and that modern-day feminism is a war on true masculinity. Before women had the right to vote, most were stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and couldn't be taxed. Our overlords didn't like that. Rockefeller started funding feminist campaigns in media, and as a consequence of the movement, women started entering the workforce and leaving the home. Children would then be separated from their parents and sent to Rockefeller-funded schools to be indoctrinated by the state. All of this ultimately disrupting the family unit at its core. Feminism is defined as the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. But in the West, I must ask, what rights do men have that women don't?
You know what, guys? Couple of points to make about this video. Number one, it's funny how women only seem to give a damn when they realize it doesn't benefit them. Right? When, oh, I have to work a job until retirement now. I actually have to pay my own bills. A man is not going to come and save me. And then they start to care about these things and they go, oh, wait a minute, this isn't fair. You know what? Womanism actually doesn't benefit men and women. But really, the reason why they arrive to this conclusion in the first place is because they're thinking about themselves, not because they actually give a damn about the dudes in these situations, by the way. And also, oftentimes when women are making these videos, again, they don't actually care. They're just trying to farm dudes who are like, wow, finally a woman gives a damn. But usually these girls don't. They are just repeating things that they have heard dudes say or that they have heard men go through. And it's not actually genuine, so to speak.
Modern feminists are convincing women that hookup culture, using hormonal birth control, and not shaving is liberation. That toxic masculinity is prevalent and the patriarchy must be dismantled. Through movies and media, we're taught that working for the man, climbing the corporate ladder, and paying tax is more empowering and valuable than raising the next generation. Women have lost touch with our natural loving instincts, and birth rates are plummeting. Men and women are not the same. And by protesting for equality of outcome rather than opportunity, feminists are demonizing and emasculating.
I wasted 10 years on feminism and woke culture. And
when did you realize that it was a lie?
probably like a year ago.
A year ago.
That's the problem.
What made you like realize?
And it's interesting. Like I started really listening to Andrew Tate's like long form content.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just pause it here because this is exactly what I'm talking about. Let me tell you why this woman actually realized that womanism was a lie. You ready, guys? It's because the attention started drying up. Because she realized that, hey, I need to lock down a man now. This woman looks like she's about to hit 30, if not she's in her early 30s. It's always hard to tell because of the amount of makeup and stuff they put on their face. But the reason why women have these, oh, I've had an epiphany, you know, I was tricked by womanism for the last 10 years, is because they need to sell you kind of like a lie, essentially, in order to lock down a man. These women were having a great time, guys. They were living it up, partying all throughout their 20s. But now, oh, they've seen the light and they've listened to what dudes have had to say. I think it's nonsense. I think it is absolute nonsense. I think it is opportunistic, and it's because they need something from men. Usually it's because they need resources. They need to be able to settle down and have kids. Which, by the way, this is why so many women destroy their marriages is because once they're done having the kids and extracting resources from a guy, I mean, hell, a lot of the times when she goes out and has kids, they're not even the original man's kids. But when they've done this, then they go back to the streets, right? They divorce their husband, they try and take his crap, they try and take the children, and then they return to the dating market as a single mother. Now, a lot of these women come to regret this, by the way. They realize that they've screwed up and they try and get the man back and things like this. But by then, it's too little too late, to be honest with you.
Nice.
And understanding truly what he meant.
Yeah.
And it really changed everything for me.
Okay.
And how I viewed men and women and relationships.
So you think the biggest lie of feminism was a lie? I guess.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
unfortunately.
What's the biggest lie that feminism sells women, in your opinion?
That women don't need a man.
I can't stop crying. I'm happy and I love my life. But I feel
so
so
happy.
goddamn lonely. And it terrifies me. Everyone's getting married or having kids and starting a new chapter in their life with their friends and whatnot, and I'm just here on my own, in my own home, working and surviving. And I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's just me who's experiencing this, but I just feel so lonely and it's scary.
I'm tired of it. I don't want to be INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? That means independent, motherfucker. I don't want to be independent anymore. I don't want to be independent anymore. I want to be a housewife. I want to have kids. I don't want to work. I've been working since I was 14. I'm almost 25. I've been independent since I was 18. I'm almost 25. I'm over it. I'm over it. I want to stay at home. I want to stay at home. I want to be submissive. I don't give a fuck.
Isn't it wild, guys, how women will make videos and they'll, like, in those exact same videos, okay, they will sit there and they will scream to you either about how they want to be submissive now, or they want to be good wives, or they want to be feminine, or they are feminine, but they're screaming at you while they say those things. It's like, this woman is not feminine. I'm sorry, you cannot convince me that she's feminine, and she's trying to say, oh, I want to be a housewife now, I want to settle down. But again, the reason why these women are saying this is not because they actually care about the men, not because they would make good wives or good girlfriends or anything like this. It's simply that they need something from you. And usually it's the resources, okay? Because notice the first thing out of this woman's mouth, by the way, was, I don't want to work anymore. I've been strong and independent for a long time, but, you know, I want somebody to essentially come in and look after me. Now, I have seen a lot of women come out here and say, I don't want to look after a man, I'm not his mother, and things like this. But I've always found it really interesting that those same women who say this crap, or at least used to say this crap apparently now, they want you to essentially be their father. Like, let's think about that for a second. They want you to put a roof over their heads, they want you to pay for everything. They, you know, I mean, they don't even respect you, to be honest. It's ridiculous.
I don't want to work. I don't want to make money. I want to raise children. I want to be a housewife. I want to be happy. I want to do as I please at fucking home. What the fuck is this independence? I'm over it. I'm over it.
Do any other single 32-year-old women get depressed, extremely depressed around the holidays? Or is it just me? It doesn't bother me any other time. I'm fine. But like come November all the way to like February, I'm like, okay. All of my siblings from 16 years old to 40 something years old all have somebody, okay? They have boyfriends, girlfriends, they're married, they have children, like families. And then there's Brittany, alone with her French bulldog that she's codependent on.
I mean, it makes you wonder, if you have all of these women who are single and they're so sad and they need a man now, it makes you wonder why they don't have one, doesn't it, guys? Because let's be honest, if you use your critical thinking skills for 2 seconds, you will understand that women have a very large advantage in dating. It is absolutely no secret. It's something that I talk about a lot here on this channel, but they really do. You put these women on dating applications, you put them on social media, you put them anywhere where they're in front of, I guess you would say, an audience of people, and they will have options in men. Even if they're an awful person, by the way, like the contents of the woman's character does not matter. There will still be some guy who's going to come along and simp and save her from her terrible decisions. Now, it might not be the man that she wants, but there will always be some dude. So it makes you ask the question, if these women are so lonely and they're having such a hard time, then why are they actually single? There's a whole bunch of reasons for that, but it does make you think, doesn't it?
They walk in the front door with their family and their kids and they're, oh, Merry Christmas, blah, blah, and then I show up by myself. Hey, Britt. I appreciate my family because they include my dog and everything as if he's my kid. Like, I'm truly grateful, but like, fuck. When is it my turn? And then you have New Year's. I'm not going to the club. I'm not doing all that. I want to be home. But like, I want to be home with somebody. But like,
what is the bet, by the way? All of these women saying, "Oh, I want to be a housewife. I want to be in the home." Let's get this absolutely clear, okay? Number one, they have been to the club many times over, and we know what this means. If you've been to the club many times over, you have hooked up with random dudes many times over, okay? You can try and gaslight and say this isn't the case, but it is absolutely true. So there's that. Number one, these women oftentimes, it's not like they stop going to the club. They want the benefits. Here's what they want. They want the benefits of being a housewife, but they want none of the responsibilities that come along with actually being a housewife. That's what they want. They don't actually give a damn about being a traditional person. They are not a traditional person, which is fine. I'm not here to coach women on how to be traditional, or I'm not here to convince them on why they should do this. I don't give a damn. If this woman is single for the rest of her life, it is funny to me. If anything, guys, it benefits me because it's more content for the channel. I don't care, right? But I do find it interesting how these women will complain that they can't find traditional relationships, and they are nowhere close to being traditional themselves. They have never cared about actually being traditional, and they still don't care, and yet they wonder why they're in this exact situation. This is, by the way, a lot of guys who are complete players, right? The men that these women chase after all the time, the men who are like perpetually single and just playing a whole bunch of women at the same time. This is oftentimes why, as well, these women can't get relationships out of these dudes. Because they just play all of the modern women completely, and then they just go after the woman who hasn't been with a whole bunch of dudes and who's actually pleasant to be around, and these women lose their minds. They're like, what the hell? How come he didn't choose me? This kind of crap is exactly why you weren't chosen. Exactly why.
I don't have anybody. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's texting me. I'm celibate, so... Fuck, though. Like, okay, do I never get a turn again? Or like, what the fuck? Is anybody else feeling the struggle during the holidays and in their 30s, or what the fuck? Oh my God. It's my fault. A lot of it's my fault. Maybe I'm too picky. Maybe my standards are too high. Like, I guess I could, but like, fuck that. I bring a lot to the table, and
yeah, see, you see that, guys? That right there tells you everything you need to know. She could have a relationship, she could have a man, but she can't get a relationship with the men that she really wants. Okay, so eventually what happens is women will marry some dude out of desperation. They'll be like, man, I'm out of time. I've got to marry this guy. So they hit up that old simp, you know, they hit up that dude, and they hope that he'll come around and actually marry her. And she thinks that she's settling now. You see what happens, right? Because she thinks she's worth a lot more than she actually is. And this is the product of hooking up with a whole bunch of different random guys. This is the product of receiving a lot of likes on social media, even though you're a terrible person. And a lot of men actually don't find that you have any substance whatsoever. I mean, this is exactly what happened. Women think they're a lot more valuable than they actually are. Point in case, if you were as valuable as you thought you were, you could get a relationship out of the men that you want. But you can't. Like, you cannot do it. Women really struggle, guys. Really, really, really struggle to keep around the men that they want. It is actually, they fail completely at it. Completely. That's why when you ask women if they're in relationships a lot of the times, you'll get, like, there'll be a pause and they'll have to think about it, you know, because they're not.
No. But I hate this time of year now.
I don't honestly can't do this anymore. Like,
No, I think that
can't.
why am I still in this like place where I'm stuck for years? Like he goes and moves to a different state every year.
I have to be like together so I can raise the kids, you know? He's an amazing dad. He's done an amazing job. The whole,
But he
thing.
still will be. And still will be.
They're just like,
He'll be better without you there. Like
I think
handling
he deserves
things.
someone that can go support his every move
Yeah.
and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that. He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything, and I can't. I feel like a f***ing failure that it's like,
I mean, you are a failure. You're a failure of a wife and you're a failure of a mother. That is what it is. You think, oh, the kids are going to be better off if I leave him. I mean, what even is this, guys? Like, in what world are kids better off without a mother and a father in the picture? Now, I will say this, single fathers certainly do a way better job of raising children than single mothers do. The statistics bear this out. But that doesn't mean that it's optimal. You know, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a good idea. But this woman and her friend here, I don't know who these people are. But like I think they're like TV people. I don't exactly know their names, but you know, they're trying to justify leaving the dude. Oh, the kids would be better off anyway. He deserves better than me. I mean, she's right about that, I suppose. He does probably deserve better than you. But I do just find this whole situation funny because what we're essentially doing is we're trying to justify to ourselves returning to the streets. That's all that it really is. And you know, I think you're a failure at these particular roles. Now, I'm not saying that to be mean to this particular woman. I'm not saying this to try and roast her, but it's just objectively true. If you're a mother and you're not in the picture, I would say you've failed at that role. That's like me saying I'm a race car driver, right? But then I'm not at any races. Well, then I'm a failure of a race car driver, aren't I? Because I'm not actually there. Like, it's really, really simple. But of course, we have to justify returning to the streets, don't we?
a third marriage. Yeah, I feel like a loser. And I can't even think about that. Like, I want to be happy.
Oh, you want to
This
be
might piss some
happy?
people off, but I just want to take a moment and say, thank goodness that so many of us are waking up to the fact that modern day feminism is a literal scam meant to disconnect and separate and isolate women from one another. And not only from one another, but from the natural ways of living. Like,
yeah.
this shit literally goes against nature. Modern day feminism says that women should be out in the workforce working 40+ hour weeks while their children stay at home with a caretaker, that they immediately get put in the school system from age 5 and stay until they're 18, if not older if they go to college. And that while women have 4 phases of their cycle that give them extremely different hormone levels and energy levels, that they should be doing the exact same routine every day, every week, and every month. I'm sorry, but fuck that. Like, I am down for the boss babe shit. I am building 2 businesses right now. I think women should be running their own empires if that's what they want. But it can be done the feminine way.
No, it can't. No, it can't. What is happening is women want everything, right? They want the benefits of modern day womanism, but they don't actually want to be traditional women. That's all that it is. She wants to be. So what's happening here, guys, is she wants all of the benefits of being a womanist, right? She wants to be strong and independent. She wants to be a career woman. I mean, all this. But at the same time, she wants all of the benefits of not being one. You see what's happening here, guys? You see how they don't actually give a damn and how they're not feminine people. They're not feminine women. They just want all of the benefits. So what happens is she wants you to pay the bills. She wants you to go out there and work 40+ hours a week or whatever it is. And then she wants to be able to reap all of the benefits of that. And then she also wants to be able to work on her own stuff where she can make money. And let's be clear about this. That money is going to be hers. So what's happening here is the money that you earn is hers. And then her money is also hers, but it's not yours. You see? You see how this works? Very strong, very independent.
Women are meant to be provided for so they can stay home and take care of their children and be the actual parent to their child.
Of course.
They're supposed to rest during their moon cycle. They're supposed to frolic around naked and connect to their bodies and connect to the earth. And
I'm sorry, guys, but you know, you got a wife, you got a girlfriend or something like this, and she is frolicking around unclothed. I don't know about you, but that's probably not your girlfriend, man. I don't know if I would consider that necessarily your girlfriend per se.
Be the caretaker. They're not meant to be in hustle all the time. They're not meant to be in doing mode all the time. We're meant to be. And we're meant to be in community, surrounded by other women, letting them support our children as well. Being in community vibes is essential. And what does modern day feminism do? Separates us from that as well, turns women against each other as competitors instead of allies, and makes us work until we're too tired to function, amongst so many other tragic things. So if you're still stuck in that modern day feminism trap, let me just tell you that you deserve to be rich, you deserve to be your own boss, you deserve to do all of the things a man does too, but there's a unique way that you're meant to do it that is separate on a physiological and biological level from how a man is supposed to do it. And learning.
I mean, this is a whole lot of cope, isn't it? I love how we just, by the way, we just introduce gender roles as soon as it benefits you. So what we do is we take all of the gender roles that don't benefit you and we throw them away, and then all of the ones that do benefit you, then we want to keep them. Really, really interesting, guys, you know. So they want to do away with womanism, but they just want to keep all of the 100% good parts, right? All of the parts that benefit them. It's so wild, man. So wild. Oh, I'm so kind, I'm so empathetic, I'm all about equality. Absolute nonsense, man.
Learning to embrace that is learning to embrace your true nature.
I divorced my husband because I was making a certain amount of money. I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's fucking sickness. I found myself divorced and out there looking for love in all the wrong places. This one and that one and that one and that one and this one and that one, and my body count going up and my value going down. I'm just gonna call it like a TI is. All the while my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them. I should have stayed married to my husband. I felt like I was on this dark road with no street lights, pitch dark, and I couldn't find my way.
Being strong and capable most of my life, being the friend that could muscle through anything or that always had the solution to all the problems is a trauma response. It is a cloak of protection to keep me from being vulnerable. If I didn't need anything, then I didn't have to rely on anything, and nobody could ever let me down. And it's tiring to be strong. It's tiring to be everything for everybody.
I mean, isn't this what you wanted, though? You wanted to be the leader. You wanted to be the queen of everything. You wanted to run the show. But now you reach a certain age and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't all that it cracked up to be. This actually has responsibilities, for example, that come with it, like paying bills, like actually going out there and working for extended periods of time, especially as you get older and you very specifically don't want to do it anymore. You know, these things come with responsibilities. I just love how what we do, guys, is these women, even when they're in they have been making stupid decisions for such a large amount of times, all right? But it's self-benefiting decisions, okay? So they've been being selfish all throughout their 20s. And then what happens is when they get into their 30s plus or are approaching their 30s, they try and rationalize it to you like they were the victim. You see how this works? It's like they have to convince you that they were the ones who were screwed over and it was some giant scam. But what they always neglect to mention, guys, is they wanted to believe this. You know, that's why they chose to believe it, because it benefited them, man. It's not like they just believed this simply because. The reason why they ran with this whole womanist lie, they ran with this whole womanist nonsense, is simply because it benefited them, not because they thought it was right or because, you know, they cared about equality and these sorts of things. The reason why they followed this ideology is because it served them. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Not because they're good people, not because they were victims and they were just, you know, magically convinced. No, they chose to believe this because it benefited them.
exhausting to not, I'm all in my feels today. I don't have any answers, and I don't really have a reason to be feeling this other than it's something way deep down inside that needed to come up. And this idea of Greta never needing anything just isn't true. I've just never allowed anybody to know that I need stuff, or that I need them, or that I need help, or that I'm vulnerable. I just never felt worthy of receiving. I meant to sit down and do a get ready with me, and I guess this is my getting ready.
Feminism made women think they could become Wonder Woman and deal with everything themselves. Then, as soon as things get tough, they break down and cry.
Poor baby, you're so tired.
You know what, guys? I believe in this woman. I think that she's strong and independent. I think that she can make it work. Maybe if she goes out in the workforce for a bit longer, you know, continues to pay her bills, I'm sure her Prince Charming is just around the corner and everything's going to be fine, guys. I'm all in support of these strong and independent women. I think it's great. Get out there in the workforce. Hey, don't have kids. Don't get married. You are probably saving men a lot of headache by not getting married. You know, excuse me, I'm sorry. I mean, you're empowered. You don't need marriage is what I mean to say. I think it's a great idea, guys. I think all of the women who want to be strong and independent, what they should do is they should stick to that. And to be honest, I think there should be no takebacks as far as I'm concerned. You want to go out there, you want to do that, that's fine. That is your bed. Now you can lie in it. But again, they want to switch out last second. It's amazing. They want to just change everything. Oh, I didn't mean that. I was a victim. Please take me back. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not at all. And they continue to do it.
You guys might make $1 million on only. You're trading $1 million for 45 to 70 years of loneliness. $1 million is a house.
They said they're okay with
It's not worth it, dude. There's a lot of life to live. She gave up a 3-year marriage to go to Miami. A 3-year marriage from Miami. She said, well, he didn't let me go to Miami.
You say men?
She threw away a 3-year marriage.
Sir, you're making her cry.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. We just been through a lot, and I don't know what else to do.
She's been through a lot, guys. Yeah, I bet she has.
The truth hurts. Women can't handle the truth. They really can't, bro.
I've done really well for myself in my career, and I'm ambitious.
I have to pause this here, guys. The music always just makes me laugh. They put like this sad music over the top of their videos, and it's supposed to make you feel empathy. But to be honest, man, it just makes me laugh. It really does. Like there's these sad, like whimsical videos. It's like peak comedy to me, man. At a certain point, it becomes white noise. It is very, very damn hilarious.
And it seems to be something that is like desired because it's like, I don't know, a prize to be won. But then once I actually open up and like in the dating world and like let someone in, then they get bored or they don't see the value. And I was passed up on an opportunity this week as well.
Do you know why men don't see the value, by the way? It's because there isn't any. I mean, oftentimes these people are like single mothers, you know, they're littered, absolutely littered with red flags. And now a lot of guys will go with that, right? They will still compromise themselves and get with these women and save them. But it's never the men that these women actually want. And that's the real issue that these women are having, is that the men that they want don't want them. Oh, they don't see any value in me. Yeah, you're damn right they don't see any value, because there is none for the man. That's the problem. Oftentimes they can't have kids with you for one reason or another. You know, your pair bonding ability is absolutely fried. You have a horrible attitude. You commit infidelity, or at least have done it. Let's be real, guys. How many of these women who are like 30 plus years of age, let's be real, a lot of them have committed infidelity once, if not more than once. It's like they will lie to you and they will tell you that's not the truth, but they're not relationship material. They are totally broken, man. Totally and utterly broken. Again, these women could have had relationships like since they were 18. Since they were legally adults, no problem. You could probably get a marriage, you could get a long-term relationship, but they don't, man. They wait until they're 30 and they're like, wow, people don't see the value in me. Like, get the hell out of here.
And then also the guy I was dating, it just, I guess, didn't work.
People meet people nowadays. Being a single gal in a single world, where do I go if I don't want to go on dating apps? Like, I don't like dating apps. I've had them. I've tried them. I get disappointed. I get discouraged. Let's be honest. Let's be real. Dating apps, if you're going to think this person is attractive, you're probably going to swipe yes. And if you don't find them attractive, you're going to swipe no. But sometimes people just aren't photogenic. They just don't present themselves well through photos. That's why I just feel like it's so much better to meet people in person. Also, just like with having dating apps, like, it just feels forced. And I don't want it to feel forced. I want to like go out in public, meet someone like in the wild, both just happen to bump into each other and you're like, and then, you know, sparks fly. I just want to know where do the single men go? Where are you going? Where are you hanging out? Like, if you're in the garage, like, come out. Like, are you at the lake? Are you snowmobiling? Are you fishing? It's wintertime. What are you doing right now? It's funny. How am I this amazing, like, and single? Like, are you kidding me? And
ah, yes. How am I this amazing and still single? What a question to ask. You know, I always relate this back to like trying to sell something. If you think you have a fantastic product and nobody is buying it, chances are the product is just not as good as you think it is. That's really what it comes down to. Wow, why don't men want me? I'm so amazing. I don't know, maybe we could start with the entitlement. That would probably be a good place to start, I would assume. But they don't see it. It's completely invisible to them. I'm fantastic. Why don't men want me? I'm awesome. All of my friends tell me that I am the best thing to walk the face of the earth. They tell me, Samantha, I'm so fantastic, but I can't seem to find a man. Yeah, first of all, these are not your friends. Second of all, you're not really as fantastic as you think. Right? Because if you were as fantastic as you thought, men would actually want to have a relationship with you, even probably the ones that you want, but they don't. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.